Is Sonic best in 3D?
Only when it involves chili dogs in cutscenes.
That was a rhetorical question, but whatever. Let's find out.
Chili dogs in cutscenes.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
Welcome back to another episode of Duo Review, where two guys review two games. I know we only did one last time, but our shareholders asked us to make the videos longer, and also it's just called Duo Review anyways, so it kind of
Next time we'll review 3 games and then 4 games.
If you have to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that could get unsustainable. Today, we're going to be reviewing 2 modern 3D Sonic games, Sonic Frontiers.
The greatest Sonic game ever made?
No, I was trying to get you to say the other one, but sure.
Oh, and Sonic X Shadow Generations. Is that what it's called?
I think so. Sonic X Shadow.
Sonic X Shadow Generations. A game which we predicted.
Sonic X Shadow.
Which we predicted on this show, or on this channel.
You did say that, actually. I forgot that happened.
Yeah,
When did you say that?
I don't know, we were doing some video and I was like, we were just speculating, just randomly, and we were like, there should be like a Shadow Generations. And then like the next day they announced it.
Yeah, no, now that you said that, I remember that it was like a week-long turnaround on that coming true.
Yeah.
I have to find that. But yeah, we did predict this game, so we basically created it. We're just going to be looking at both these games, giving them ratings, and talking about them. I say we start with Sonic Frontiers.
Okay. I've had a very interesting journey, I'd say, with 3D Sonic. I was kind of against 3D Sonic for a very, very long time. A dream about what?
Going on an interesting journey with 3D Sonic.
Journey with 3D Sonic. I mean, that's kind of what Sonic Generations is in some ways.
Kind of, yeah.
I didn't really know like where to start. It was like a bunch of games that had come out over a lot of different console generations that I just totally skipped. Someone told me I should play Sonic Generations, and I did. And it was probably one of my favorite Sonic games I've ever played. Frontier came out soon after that. It kind of was a game that hit me at the right time.
Soon?
Sonic Frontier came out
soon after you played
Soon after I played Generations for the first time. Yeah. I had a really early advanced copy of Sonic Frontier. It was kind of like the right game that hit me at the right time. Like I wanted like a Breath of the Wild type game that I didn't want to take seriously, and I didn't feel compelled to complete like every single shrine or whatever. And Sonic Frontier just was like this game I could pop in and out of without really feeling compelled to take it seriously. And you know, maybe I would get to the top of like one little area, maybe I'd find something, maybe I'd do whatever. Like I don't know, like in the overworld there's a lot to do. I felt like I could take it at my own pace, while the actual like levels at each of the little shrines or whatever those things are, where you try to get like A rank or S rank, I did think those were really good level designs for the most part. There were 1 or 2 that were kind of weird. It's a weird combination of gameplay that I thought really worked.
Okay, yeah.
You hated it?
I didn't hate it. I like some of it. I don't know. It's like combining 2 foods that don't like go together, but you still like both of them. But like you're like, I'd rather just eat these on their own.
Like what 2 foods would those be?
Like, okay, when I said that, I was imagining pepperoni on top of spaghetti in my head.
Pepperoni on top of spaghetti.
Yeah, I like both of those foods. I guess that is kind of just bolognese in a way, but no, it's uncooked in my head. Uncooked pepperoni.
I mean, Sonic Frontier is like, it really, really wanted to be Zelda Breath of the Wild in some ways. Or like, it was trying to be like one of those.
You say that about a lot of games. I don't think that at all about.
It was like one of those like, oh, this is newfangled like open world. Like, let's do open world. We haven't done that yet with this character. Let's do that.
I don't know if I agree with the Breath of the Wild part. I agree it does just feel like Sonic goes open world, the game.
I feel like when Breath of the Wild came out, everyone was like, hey, there's a mountain over there. Can I climb it? Yes, I can. And then it was like, oh, Sonic, here's a game where I'm in a world. I was like, oh, can I go all the way over there? Yeah, I can. And it was like, like we have the technology to make it where the background can actually be part of the game. Okay. Let's just make the character go there.
I don't know. Maybe this is just a generational thing. It's never been quite so shocking to me.
Have you played in Ocarina?
No, I haven't played.
You haven't played Ocarina?
No. We've been over this.
Just get past the first level stage area to where you can get into the Hyrule field, where there are things that you can see that you can never touch, and then you'll be like, "Holy shit! Breath of the Wild is the greatest game."
It happens in like Need for Speed.
Does it? All right.
There's like streets you can't go down. Yeah, I don't know. I think just the concept of Sonic goes not underground. Sonic goes
fast.
He does go fast. That is the point. Sonic goes open world doesn't work because I feel like Sonic's at its best when the levels feel like super designed and intentional. And so the way it shakes out in this game is like there's kind of an irrelevant world. And then every once in a while, there's like a rail you grind on or something. And then that takes you. It's like you get to do like 5 seconds of a Sonic level. And then you're back to just like running around on a hill.
Yeah, I felt like I don't remember what they called the little bosses that existed in the world.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked the combo system in that game and like learning how to fight them. I don't know. I don't know why. But it was like it was kind of like I said, it was like one of those games that hit me at the right time where I was like, all right, Sonic doing like combo moves against like kaiju. All right, sure.
There's a part of it that's cool, but there's so many buttons you have to press to do things. It's like you have to go like LR and ZR at the same time, and then press X to do your zigzag attack, and then A to ground. It's like I can't remember.
I think that they secretly knew no one would ever remember all that, and it's just like a button masher. You're just like it's like there's like 20 different things you can do. If you hit enough buttons, you're gonna do one of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm always like I was like literally constantly checking the pause screen trying to figure out what the hell.
There were like the little like load screen. It would teach you those things. Like you would actually be able to control Sonic in the load screens to do that shit. I felt like that was actually one of the tutorial systems that actually did stick with me for some reason.
Yeah, it makes sense. You can just kind of take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
There's so much going on there's so much and like so little going on. It feels like at the same time because like there's just so many different little things you can interact with and I forget what I've done and haven't done, so I keep going back to the same thing. And then there's also just like constant random events. When I turned on Sonic Frontiers to get the footage, half of it has this weird like border around it because I was like, it's Sonic's birthday or something.
You can turn that off.
I figured that out about 20 minutes into recording footage, and then I turned it off. But I was like, is the rest of my life just going to be like popping balloons and stuff? This is horrible. I was trying to get footage of a boss battle, so I was trying to fight the squid thing that's flying around.
Right.
And then as I was doing that, it was like, it's night. It's a starfall or something. And then all of a sudden, it just like had me collecting all these little orbs, and then there was gambling on the screen or something. I was like, what the hell is happening? I just want to battle the squid.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think one part that I felt like kept me going was revealing more and more of the map. Like as you explored more and like getting more of the map to show up, whatever that's called. I felt that was interesting. And then being able to like figure out where the next like shrines were that were actual Sonic levels. That was kind of how I approached it. Like I'll explore a little bit. I'll do some of these like weird maneuvers on these loops and grinding things and whatnot. Try to unlock more the points that let me talk to Amy or whatever. And then I'll try to seek out where those shrines were. And then I'll go there, try to do all the levels. And then I kept like kind of repeating that. And that formula like kept me going for about like 30 to 40% of the game. And then it just got completely monotonous. I was like, I don't care.
At the end of the day, my main issue with this game, and also I do like it. I know I'm hating on it in contrast to all your praise for it. The issue with this game is that when I picture like an open world Sonic game in my head, I want to be running around Green Hill Zone. It looks like they took the default assets that were in whatever program they were using and then just slapped like rings on it. And it's like, it doesn't look like Sonic. It doesn't look really that intentionally designed or anything. Like,
yeah, it's like,
or like a Halo map.
Yeah. Yeah. The color palette in the overworld is super weird. Even when you go to like other islands or whatever that have kind of different themes, it's still a weird color palette. But there's like some really cool levels, like the actual Sonic levels. So I played Generations and I loved it. The original, I played it on PS3 originally. And then I played Sonic Unleashed and I liked parts of that. And then I tried to play like Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic and the Seven Rings and then all of those, right? And then I was like, none of them would like scratch the itch from Generations. And then I played Sonic Forces. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think it's as bad as people say, but it still wasn't scratching that itch. And then when Frontier came out, it was kind of like, okay, there's enough here that felt like something that I enjoyed from Generations.
If we get 50 likes, we'll do Sonic Forces and Sonic Unleashed next. Also, I noticed you didn't say Sonic 06 in any of that.
I didn't.
That was my first Sonic game.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I don't know anything about that game. Like 3D levels?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a type of game where there's like a fan release of it that just kind of fixes it, and it's like everyone's like, it's an amazing game, but the actual game we got is like messed up.
And then there's also like Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, it's like an Xbox Live Arcade game or something.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's like an anomaly. But okay, back on topic. I do think it is an important context for any opinion I have that Sonic 06 was my first Sonic game ever, but That's not what we're talking about.
My first Sonic game was Sonic the Hedgehog.
That makes sense.
For Sega
you probably
Genesis.
got it on release day.
No, I don't even remember when I got it. But actually, I think my first Sonic game was Sonic Chaos for Game Gear.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the attack stuff because I kind of forgot about that. I am usually horrible at stuff like that. And for some reason, I was able to pull off enough. I feel like the game was deliberately designed to feel more complicated than it actually is. Like
it feels
like do all of these things, but if you just like try, they're like, yeah, you beat that guy.
You figured it out. Just like run into him.
Right.
Just go fast.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that is true. That is how you solve all your problems in Sonic. I don't know. It's just like you have to collect those little like guys around the map. You have to collect like skill points because there's levels for some reason in this game. You have to get hearts for Amy. I'm probably forgetting other things. I don't even like really understand the whole thing with the keys and the guardians. I was doing it, like you said. It just does kind of happen, but I don't understand it at all.
There were like weird little puzzle games though too in the overworld where you have to like go in different sections, or you have to do like the weird like Sonic spin around the enemies and stuff.
I remember some of that stuff.
There was a lot in that game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other games came out around that time because I feel like no one really talked about this game a lot when it came out.
There was a lot of talk about like when it got announced, but yeah, I think everyone was just like, there was like a collective, it's okay. We all kind of moved on.
Right. This is my sleeper like 2030. Year 2030, people are going to look back and be like, this is the greatest game of the Switch era.
I would be shocked if that happened. I'd be so shocked. But okay, put that on the books. I guess you did predict our next game, so.
That's right.
You clearly know Sonic's future.
Absolutely.
Which that sounds like another game. But okay, let's get into it. What would you rate this game?
9.5.
Nine.
I'm just kidding. I would give it like 6.
Okay. I was going to give it a 6, but now I feel like I have to go lower because you definitely like this game.
Well, I was thinking 7. So like maybe I'm really a 7 and you're a 6.
No, I might go 5.5. 5.5? Anyways. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 5.5. You're locking it in at 7?
Yeah, 7.
Okay. The Sonic Frontiers official materia score is 6.25 out of 10, which means it's slightly worse than the Patrick Star game. Let's get in to Sonic X Shadow Generations.
I mean, I don't know. This is a weird game. I don't really know what I thought it was going to be. And even right up to like owning it, I had a misconception of what it was. It's kind of a weird concept. It's great that they gave us a remaster of Sonic Generations, but I feel like it would have been better if they should have just made a new Shadow game and then release. I don't know why it's together. I feel like
the reality is they wanted to kind of rush something out for the Sonic 3 movie.
Yes.
Because that's where Shadow is. So they're like, there's like a Sonic the movie DLC.
Right.
Sonic the Hedgehog the movie. So like, yeah, I think that in reality, it is a weird, like you said, like until I put this game into my PS5, I did not know really what was going to happen. I mean, I'd figured it out through you talking about it and people talking about it, kind of what it was. But even still, like we even like right before we started recording, we were trying to figure out like, are the Shadow levels rehashed or are they new levels?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, it is kind of confusing in concept, but this game's really good. It's like really fun.
It is really good. I think it's probably the best modern Sonic game. Like if you were going to recommend like a modern Sonic game to someone to play on a current console, this is kind of the game I think you'd want them to play.
Yeah, Sonic Mania maybe, but yeah.
The OG Sonic levels in Sonic Generations I think are stronger than Sonic Mania. I'm not a big fan of Sonic Mania. This was like my whole thing with Sonic Generations the first time around when I played it. I was always like a big Mario fan. 2D Mario. Did not like 3D Mario. And then Sonic, I was like 2D is the way to go. I had never played the 3D stuff. So this is what I think now, because there's always comparisons about Mario and Sonic.
Hey guys, editing Alex here. I just want to warn you, you're about to hear one of Andy's wildest takes. Okay, enjoy the video.
I think 2D Mario is the perfect form for that concept, and 3D Mario should not exist.
Sonic.
I think the 2D Sonic is like really not the final form of those concepts. Because I think in the 3D Sonic levels, which really I think in Generations was the first time they really like solidified like what the concept is. You want to do like a run through the level as best you can with the different ranks. And then there's like always times in the level where you did a jump at the wrong time, or you did something at the wrong moment, and you want to just restart it and do it over again. The old like retro, like 16-bit era, those early Sonic games did not have that feel to it. You were just like, I'm glad I got through the level. and I'm just trying to get through. There was never like, I want to go back and play that and try to go this route versus this route. Like, I don't think 2D Sonic is actually good, and I did not like Sonic Mania.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't hate 2D Sonic. I think both Mario and Sonic are probably better in 3D. With Sonic, it's just, you need to see what's in front of you to go fast, realistically. Like 2D, it doesn't really work because you don't know where you're going.
Yes.
And so there's always just like going to be a spike, or like literally anytime there's a hazard in 2D Sonic, if you haven't played the level before, you just are going to hit it.
Right.
There's nothing you can do. But I mean, I do still sometimes get fun out of 2D Sonic games, especially ones that are a little like weird and kind of slow you down a tiny bit. There are a few like that. Also, I think the Sonic Advance games are pretty solid. But I guess we need to just do more Sonic videos because we have a lot to say. But getting back to the star of the show, these levels feel really good. Like I was saying when you're talking about Frontiers, I think Sonic games just really do need to be like designed meticulously to be good, because you wouldn't drive a F1 car if one of the wheels was kind of wobbly. Like, you kind of need everything to be firing at all cylinders for it to really work. And I think all the levels and Generations pretty much are like super well crafted. I haven't beat this game admittedly, but I've played probably about half of it so far, and there hasn't been anything that's annoyed me yet. Fingers crossed, because I feel like Sonic games always do have one or two annoying things, so I'll anticipate that. But like, the bosses aren't annoying. That's also sometimes a Sonic issue. They're fun and they're intuitive, and I don't know, it's fun seeing the cast interact with each other also.
I mean, I love the hub world or whatever in Generations. I always having the levels kind of sit there, the portals to those levels sit there on that white background with just like violin versions of all the different themes. It's like, I don't know, it's a cool little world just to bounce around in, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in it, things to discover, a lot of like things. I don't usually like unlocking like a million like images, like paintings or whatever of things, but in that game it's kind of enjoyable. So it's probably one of my favorite games of all time, which I know I say here a lot.
You do say it a lot.
On one hand, it's great that this game is no longer trapped on a PS3 or 360 era. I mean, I guess maybe on PS4 you could download it still or whatever, but the fact that you can play Sonic Generations on modern consoles, and it's pretty much like an untampered version of the game. It's like a true like remaster. It's not like tinkered with the way they did like Sonic Colors and
it's just
other stuff like that. It's just that's awesome. The Shadow part of the game is great that there's new like Shadow content. I'm kind of the older generation. Shadow doesn't really do anything. He was
made for me, and people like me.
And I don't really like his like skating.
It's so cool. So cool.
It's like, it's really hard for me just to keep him like moving in the direction I need.
I guess this is just, you don't understand Shadow like I do. I don't know. No, I thought the Shadow levels, I played less of them than the Sonic levels, just because they're kind of the star of the show. I thought they were cooler, cooler and more fun and more awesome. But I do, and that's saying that I do really like the Sonic levels. But Shadow has like, he can shoot his quills, he can stop time, he has like a cool voice, and the skating is objectively cooler than running.
Those are all, interesting powers and iterations on it. But
yeah. No, but then also, like, just from the levels that I played, there were all these, like, super, like, trippy visuals in the Shadow levels that were just, like, I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, you'd be running down, it looked like Doctor Strange stuff, kind of.
Yeah, which I think that's cool, because I think that makes a cool Sonic level. And I definitely think you want to always feel like you have this momentum that you're going in, right? But I also think sometimes just, even if you're just grinding for a bit or just holding a button down while something crazy visually is happening around you, I think that's fine, and that is awesome. And I wish more games did stuff like that.
I've had this thought. It's like Sonic games, especially like the 3D ones, are like the closest I can get to enjoying a walking sim type of experience almost. But it's instead of like being a gritty story, it's like I'm watching orcas like backflip over me and then I jump on their nose or something.
Right.
But it is, I think the things about Sonic levels that work for me are, like you said, the momentum, just like hitting the buttons at the right time, flying through rings and stuff. The spectacle of it, like, there are a lot of times where you're genuinely just holding forward and then things are happening, and it's cool to watch that. But then also those moments of choice where you do get like multiple paths, which I think this game achieves all of that pretty much flawlessly.
Right. Yeah, I love actually sliding under things, which is actually like, I hate QuickTime events, and that kind of is technically a QuickTime event, but I actually think it really works in this type of format.
It is funny though that you bring up Shadow's skating animation, because what did kind of get me a little bit was when you boost with him, he just kind of like He starts like A posing or something. It's weird. He's like just his chest is out and all his limbs are back and he's just kind of like floating forward. It's crazy.
Yeah. I bounced. I bounced pretty quick off the shadow stuff. I gotta be honest. I mean, it's definitely part of the game I want to go back and play more of. That part of it.
You need to grow up in like 2007. Is what you need to do, and then you can.
That shadow had a gun, right?
That shadow did have a gun. They took away his gun. He's not like the he's not like the crass and rude 2006 shadow. He's like the contemplative 2003 shadow.
So if you're gonna make a Shadow Generations game, don't you think you should have had both of those shadows? And then there's like some sort of like game built around being both of those, and the fact that they're different now. Because that was the whole point of Sonic Generations.
It'd be cool, but they have to appeal to like Disney now or whatever. Well, they don't want to give Shadow.
That is what I thought I was going to get into. I thought there was gonna be like 2006 Shadow or whatever with the gun, and there's gonna be new Shadow, and I would go back and forth, and it was just gonna be like Sonic Generations, but with Shadow games.
That would be kind of sick if there was Shadow without a gun and Shadow with a gun.
Right?
That was his only.
And then you can do the level with the gun or without
the gun.
Yeah,
you can just shoot that. You know what? That is the game we should have gotten. But
with a couple of levels where you can be Rouge the Bat, and you're all good.
This one is still cool. The Shadow levels definitely seemed a lot more cinematic. I think, once again, for the movie, they wanted to make Shadow, a.k.a. Keanu Reeves, look cool. So yeah, they had to do that. Why does Keanu Reeves look like Markiplier's little brother? That's my question.
Who's Markiplier?
I knew you were going to say that. You don't know Markiplier. You don't know 2007. You don't know any of this stuff.
I don't.
That's crazy.
Markiplier. I don't know.
You have to watch Invader Zim after this.
Invader Zim. I know what that is.
Okay, finally.
Do you know who Mark Gosling is?
No. Ryan's dad.
No, I don't even know if I said his last name right. Have you ever seen Saved by the Bell?
I've heard of it. Is that the thing where Steve Buscemi's like, "Hey, fellow children" or whatever?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know. I don't know.
It's some meme. There's a meme image. People on the internet know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Steve Buscemi in like a backwards cap with a skateboard, and he's like, "What's up, fellow?" It might just be some other weird guy. But I think it's Steve Buscemi in my head.
I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's Steve Buscemi. Sonic feels like carrying too many groceries. What does that mean? Oh! It's like you're taking the load of groceries in that you know you're carrying too much, but somehow it works out. That's like what a good Sonic level feels like.
I see. Like you want to make one trip. Like you want to do it all in one trip.
So it's like all balanced and like you're carrying things.
Right.
Completing that journey successfully is what a good Sonic level feels like.
Yeah. Sure. I think I think it's the spectacle, it's the speed. I mean, this is what I think was all lacking in the 2D stuff. And even in like, it took them a while. I mean, I think the entire Sonic franchise of like mainline Sonic games is really interesting to analyze, because when Sonic Adventure came out and they started trying to experiment with 3D, I mean, even before that with like some of those early attempts at things, like even in the special, like the bonus levels of Sonic 2 and everything, like they've been trying to experiment with that format for a very long time. But it really, getting the lock-on camera mechanic right, which they didn't really get until Adventure 2, in my opinion. And then, I don't know, I think the Generations is still really, I mean, I think I don't really remember the order of everything. In Unleashed, I think they started to put the building blocks there that would later feed into Generations. But I would play a game with no story whatsoever. Like, I mean, if they had a game with like a lot of really refined Sonic levels, and you could pick between Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Shadow and play the same levels as every character, and Rouge the Bad, obviously. Those would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I would play that game and I would like it, but I'd like the Sonic characters. I want to see them in cutscenes in a game.
Oh, I could care less about the
That's crazy. They're so good. They're so charming.
It's literally it's like Tails. Tails is I thought when Tails came out in Sonic 2, everyone thought that was so cool, and he followed you around. Sometimes he would accidentally kill something, and you're like, "Oh, cool, thanks, Tails."
Tails is the whiniest sidekick there's ever been. Like
every time Tails talks, I just want to
You've seen Sonic
Prime.
Smash he becomes evil in the future, and he has a bunch of tails. Well, he already does, but he has like more tails, and they're mechanical.
Interesting.
And he's mad because people are mean to him. No, it's awesome. Tails is downright charming, and he's so caring. That's what I like about him. And Knuckles is funny. And he's also diligent.
No, so Knuckles was cool when he didn't say anything. In Sonic and Knuckles, you're like, Knuckles? Oh man, he must be a badass. But then he's kind of like a doofy older brother that just is like on your ass for like no reason. And you're just like, what the f?
I mean, okay, the bad iterations of you're like,
but that's the thing. What iteration is the right one? Like,
I mean, okay, I think in the Sonic movies, Knuckles is pretty cool.
Okay,
he's voiced by Idris Elba. You can't say that's not cool.
You can't say that's not cool.
I mean, yeah, they sometimes do like the Patrick Star thing to him, where they just make him like an idiot, and like that's annoying. But I think if he's like a lovable, nice, strong, like gentle, almost not gentle giant because he punches you hard, but like you get what I mean, kind of like a justiceful, nice guy, or if he's more of like the serious, like protector type, I think that works also, and he gets those appearances a decent amount too.
So who is Silver?
Silver is an edgy guy that has telekinesis, and he's big in Sonic 06.
He is?
Yeah. Oh. He's misunderstood and sad, and he controls things with his mind.
Interesting. How does that translate into, like, gameplay?
Well, in Sonic 06, you can, like, if you hop on a crate, you can control it with your mind, and it, like, glitches out, and then you, like, fly around the map, kind of, because the game isn't really well made. But yeah, you can pick up. It's like the gravity gun in Breath of the Wild, basically, or whatever you have. The portal gun in Breath of the Wild, that thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay, yeah, we have not been talking about Sonic Generations for a while. Do you have any other thoughts about Sonic Generations?
People did say this kind of about Frontiers. I remember hearing it, and I do agree with it, and I do think it is good. People want Mario games to like, and Zelda games, like all the Nintendo like franchises. Everyone's like, oh, this has to be this, and if they don't do it, it's bad, and blah blah blah. Sega is just like they because of the history and because it's gone completely the other direction than Mario, they can kind of do whatever they want. They can experiment. They can just throw whatever against the wall. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it doesn't matter because it's Sonic. And like, it's interesting now that the movies are out and that it's more mainstream and everything. But I kind of love that Sega just kind of doesn't care and just does whatever they want to do.
You're just like, I like that you don't care and you make bad games.
Right. It's like sometimes you can't take things seriously.
No, I get what you mean though. It is fun that Sonic gets to experiment.
Any type of creative process, like if you get too serious about it, like you lose the ability to create something like really great and magical or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think like Sega isn't afraid to do some of those things where Nintendo maybe plays it more conservative. And then sometimes they do hit on these kind of like magical ideas or whatever. And other times they just is a game that's bloated and full of a bunch of shit.
We do have to review Sonic Generations X Shadow Generations X, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie DLC. Yeah, I don't know. I loved this game. My first impression of it was bad because instantly I turned it on and was like, buy the season pass. I was like, what are you even talking about? And speaking of that, I wish I could pass on this season. I hate winter. But I do love Sonic Generations. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I was debating between 9.5 and 9.
Wow, a 9 out of 10?
I'm going 9.
Like for the whole like concept of the remaster of Sonic Generations and the new Shadow levels, all is one thing. You're giving it a 9.5 or whatever you guys
say. I'm giving the game that I bought a 9 out of 10. I don't know what exactly you're talking about.
Well, I mean, Sonic Generations is a 9, but is this Shadow?
I like Shadow more.
Like,
it's like an 8.5 and a 9.5, and Shadow's a 9.5 because he rollerblades and he's cool, and he goes to Hot Topic probably.
Yeah, I think I would give it like an 8.
That's crazy. I like this game more than you. I mean, I guess I just played it more recently. Maybe it's just recency bias. So this game, Sonic X Shadow Generations, official Materia score is an 8.5 out of 10. It's officially better than the Patrick Star game. Let us know what you guys think about the Sonic games. Let us know what we should review next. Who's your favorite Sonic character? Let us know that. Join our Patreon. We do reviews there. We add extra content, but also we're going to do another little segment where we decide what we review next. So if you want to see that, check that out. Thank you for watching.
Jelly dogs.
I need a haircut. I hate it. I don't like my face being poked at. Or small talk. My two least favorite things.
It's funny when you watch some of the older videos though. Like your look has changed. Or it has like it goes through like phases.
Yeah.
Like your hair gets shorter and longer. Mine just stays the same.
What hair?
Right.
All right.